Understanding emotional differences between men and women is one of the foundational aspects of building a healthy and lasting relationship. Often, miscommunication and conflict arise not from a lack of love, but from a misunderstanding of how each person processes and expresses their emotions. While everyone is unique, men and women frequently display distinct emotional patterns shaped by biology, upbringing, and societal norms. Recognizing and respecting these differences is crucial for maintaining harmony and fostering deeper connections. Men and women are often taught different ways to deal with their emotions from an early age. Society tends to encourage women to express their feelings openly, fostering a culture of communication and vulnerability. On the other hand, men are frequently conditioned to suppress or internalize their emotions, prioritizing stoicism and self-reliance. This difference doesn't mean men are less emotional. Instead, they may process their emotions in ways that are less outwardly visible. For instance, when faced with stress or conflict, many men prefer to retreat and think through their feelings before engaging in a discussion. Women, however, might feel the need to talk through the situation immediately, seeking emotional validation and connection. Without understanding this dynamic, these contrasting approaches can lead to misunderstandings and frustration. When a woman expects her partner to respond to emotional situations as she would, disappointment can follow if he doesn't. It's important to remember that silence or withdrawal doesn't always indicate a lack of care or interest. Often it's a way for men to process complex emotions. Conversely, when a man expects a woman to resolve her emotions without discussing them, he might misinterpret her need to talk as overreaction or unnecessary drama. These mismatched expectations can create a cycle of resentment if not addressed. A key step in bridging this gap is communication, not just speaking, but truly understanding one another's emotional language. Asking questions, listening attentively, and observing how a partner reacts in various situations can provide insight into their emotional world. For example, instead of assuming why someone is upset, taking the time to ask, "How are you feeling?" or "What can I do to support you?" opens the door for honest dialogue. This simple act demonstrates care and allows both partners to navigate their emotional differences constructively. Patience is another essential factor in understanding emotional differences. It's tempting to rush to conclusions or expect immediate resolutions in moments of conflict, but emotions don't always work on a convenient timeline. Allowing space for a partner to process their thoughts and feelings can prevent unnecessary arguments and build trust. For instance, if a man seems distant after a disagreement, it doesn't necessarily mean he's disengaged. Giving him the time to reflect and then inviting him to share his thoughts can lead to a more productive conversation. Empathy is equally important. Putting oneself in the other person's shoes can help dismantle assumptions and foster compassion. If a woman feels overwhelmed by her emotions and needs to vent, her partner's willingness to listen without judgment can make her feel valued. Similarly, if a man struggles to articulate his feelings, his partner's understanding and patience can encourage him to open up over time. By practicing empathy, both partners create an environment where emotions are met with kindness rather than criticism. Another critical aspect is avoiding stereotypes about emotions. While certain patterns are common, not every man or woman fits the mold. Assuming that all men are emotionally detached or all women are overly emotional can be damaging. Instead, focus on the individual and their unique emotional responses. Celebrate the ways in which your partner's emotional strengths complement your own, and work together on any challenges. Conflict resolution provides a practical context for navigating emotional differences. When arguments arise, the natural tendencies of each partner may clash. One might want to talk immediately while the other needs time to cool down. Recognizing this, and agreeing on a middle ground, such as setting a specific time to revisit the issue, can prevent misunderstandings from escalating. It also shows a willingness to respect each other's emotional needs. Building emotional intimacy requires consistency and effort. Small gestures like expressing gratitude, acknowledging feelings, and checking in regularly can strengthen the bond between partners. For example, a simple, "I appreciate you," or "I'm here if you want to talk," can make a world of difference. These actions reinforce the idea that emotional differences are not obstacles, but opportunities to deepen the connection. The action reads, "Sending you love." Finally, it's important to remember that understanding emotional differences is a journey, not a destination. Both partners will evolve over time, and so will their emotional needs. Regularly revisiting the dynamics of your relationship, seeking feedback, and being open to growth ensure that these differences become a source of strength rather than division. When both partners commit to understanding and respecting each other's emotional worlds, they lay the foundation for a relationship built on trust, empathy, and enduring love. Setting unrealistic expectations in a relationship can be one of the most damaging mistakes a person can make. While having standards and a clear vision of what you want in a partner is important, it's equally critical to ensure those expectations are rooted in reality and not based on fantasies, societal ideals, or comparisons. Unrealistic expectations often stem from idealized notions of romance, media portrayals of relationships, or unaddressed insecurities. Over time, these expectations can place undue pressure on a partner, leading to dissatisfaction and even resentment. One common example of unrealistic expectations is expecting a partner to fulfill every emotional, intellectual, and physical need. Many people unknowingly fall into the trap of believing that their partner should be their everything: best friend, therapist, motivator, and romantic partner, all rolled into one. While a healthy relationship involves elements of these roles, expecting one person to meet all these needs is both unfair and impractical. It can create an imbalanced dynamic where one partner feels overwhelmed and the other constantly feels let down. Instead, nurturing other relationships and pursuing personal growth outside of the partnership is vital to maintaining balance and reducing dependency. Another unrealistic expectation is assuming that a relationship will always be smooth and problem-free. This belief often leads people to view conflicts as a sign of failure rather than a natural part of growth. In reality, disagreements are inevitable in any relationship because two individuals will never see eye to eye on everything. What matters is how those disagreements are handled. Approaching conflict with a mindset that it's an opportunity to understand each other better, rather than a reason to doubt the relationship, can make a significant difference. Expecting perfection sets an impossible standard that no one can meet, leading to constant disappointment. The notion that your partner should always just know what you need or feel is another unrealistic expectation. Communication is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship, yet many people expect their partner to read their mind or pick up on subtle cues without explicitly stating their desires. This expectation often results in frustration when the partner fails to meet unspoken needs. For instance, feeling upset because your partner didn't notice your bad mood or didn't guess what you wanted for a special occasion is a common scenario. Instead, open and honest communication about your feelings and expectations can prevent misunderstandings and foster deeper connections. Social media and modern romantic narratives also contribute to unrealistic expectations. Seeing curated highlights of other people's relationships can create a skewed perception of what a healthy relationship looks like. The pressure to replicate these idealized moments, such as extravagant gestures, picture-perfect vacations, or constant displays of affection, can lead to dissatisfaction with one's own relationship. And this can make it very difficult to overcome the various variables that can bring. It's crucial to remember that every relationship is unique, and true happiness often lies in the small, unfiltered moments of connection rather than grand displays for the world to see. Financial expectations are another area where unrealistic standards can strain relationships. Some people expect their partner to provide a certain lifestyle or material comforts, even if it's beyond their means. This expectation can lead to undue stress on the partner, who feels obligated to meet these demands and create a dynamic where love is tied to material success. A healthier approach is to build financial goals and plans together, focusing on mutual support rather than individual demands. Unrealistic timelines can also cause tension. Society often sets expectations around when certain milestones should occur, such as getting married, buying a house, or starting a family. These pressures can make individuals feel rushed or inadequate if their relationship doesn't align with these societal norms. It's important to remember that every relationship progresses at its own pace. Leadership has to recognize that there's a predetermined pace line, and there is an unrealistic timeline for some marriages. Imposing arbitrary deadlines on significant life events can create unnecessary stress and detract from the joy of building a life together. Expecting a partner to never change is another common mistake. People evolve over time, shaped by new experiences, challenges, and personal growth. Expecting someone to remain exactly the same as they were at the start of the relationship ignores this natural process. Instead of resisting change, embracing it as an opportunity to grow together can strengthen the bond. This requires a willingness to adapt, learn, and continue supporting each other through life's transitions. Unrealistic expectations can also manifest as an unwillingness to accept a partner's flaws. Nobody is perfect, and expecting a partner to meet an idealized version of themselves sets them up for failure. Rather than focusing on what your partner lacks, it's more productive to appreciate their strengths and the effort they put into the relationship. Encouraging growth and improvement is healthy, but it should come from a place of love and support, not criticism or dissatisfaction. Ultimately, the key to avoiding unrealistic expectations is maintaining a sense of perspective. Recognizing that your partner is a human being with their own imperfections, struggles, and limitations can help you set realistic standards. Relationships thrive when both individuals feel seen, heard, and valued for who they are, not for how well they meet impossible ideals. By fostering open communication, practicing gratitude, and focusing on mutual respect, you can build a relationship that is grounded in reality and full of genuine love. Respecting individuality in a relationship is one of the most critical factors for maintaining a healthy and balanced connection. When two people come together, they bring their own unique personalities, preferences, and experiences. While it's natural for a couple to develop shared goals and interests, it's equally important to honor and nurture each person's individuality. A relationship should be a union of two whole individuals, rather than emerging where one or both lose their sense of self. Failing to respect individuality can lead to feelings of suffocation, resentment, and a loss of identity over time. One of the most common mistakes in relationships is trying to mold a partner into an idealized version of who you think they should be. While encouraging growth and improvement is part of a healthy partnership, attempting to control or change fundamental aspects of a person's identity can be harmful. For example, expecting a partner to adopt your hobbies, change their personality, or conform entirely to your way of thinking undermines their autonomy. It sends the message that who they are isn't enough, which can damage self-esteem and erode trust. Recognizing and accepting differences is a cornerstone of respecting individuality. No two people will ever be exactly the same, and that's a good thing. Differences in perspectives, habits, and interests can enrich a relationship, offering opportunities for learning and growth. For instance, If one partner is extroverted and loves socializing while the other prefers quiet evenings at home, these differences can balance the relationship if approached with understanding. Instead of trying to make the other person conform, embracing these differences can lead to creative compromises and mutual respect. Allowing space for personal time and activities is another key aspect of respecting individuality. While spending quality time together is essential, it's equally important to have time apart to pursue personal interests and recharge. Many people mistakenly believe that a close relationship requires constant togetherness, but this can lead to feelings of dependency or even burnout. Personal time allows each partner to maintain their sense of self, which ultimately benefits the relationship. For example, encouraging a partner to pursue their passions or spend time with friends demonstrates trust and support for their individuality. Supporting a partner's goals and dreams is also a powerful way to respect their individuality. Even when these goals don't align perfectly with your own, showing genuine interest and encouragement helps build a foundation of mutual respect. For instance, if a partner is passionate about advancing their career, starting a creative project, or dedicating time to a cause, standing by them and celebrating their achievements reinforces the idea that their individuality is valued. Another crucial element is effective communication. Openly discussing boundaries, needs, and expectations ensures that both partners feel heard and respected. For example, if one partner feels overwhelmed by work and needs time alone to decompress, communicating this need prevents misunderstandings and resentment. Similarly, expressing your own boundaries clearly and respectfully helps maintain a balanced dynamic where neither partner feels neglected or overburdened. Respecting individuality also means avoiding comparisons. It's easy to fall into the trap of comparing your partner to past relationships, friends, partners, or societal standards. However, this mindset diminishes their uniqueness and can lead to feelings of inadequacy. Instead of focusing on what your partner lacks, appreciating their unique qualities strengthens the bond and fosters a sense of gratitude. Flexibility and adaptability play a significant role as well. People change over time, influenced by new experiences, challenges, and personal growth. Clinging to an outdated perception of your partner or resisting their evolution can create tension. Instead, embracing change and adapting together allows the relationship to grow in a way that honors both individuals. Scrappiness is a way of life, which contrasts with scrappiness. Scrappiness is, for example, if a partner develops a new interest or shifts their priorities, being open and supportive rather than dismissive encourages a deeper connection. It's also important to recognize that respecting individuality doesn't mean sacrificing your own. A healthy relationship requires balance, where both partners feel equally valued and supported. If one person constantly prioritizes the other's needs at the expense of their own, it can lead to feelings of imbalance and resentment. For instance, making compromises is natural, but regularly giving up your own goals or interests to accommodate your partner's can harm your self-esteem and the relationship's overall health. Setting boundaries and advocating for your own individuality ensures that both partners thrive together. In practice, respecting individuality might look like celebrating differences rather than seeing them as obstacles. It could mean encouraging a partner to spend time on a solo hobby, respecting their need for alone time, or simply listening to their thoughts and feelings without judgment. These seemingly small actions demonstrate a commitment to valuing your partner as a whole person, not just as part of the relationship. Ultimately, respecting individuality is about creating an environment where both partners feel free to be themselves while building a life together. It's about balancing togetherness and independence, embracing differences, and supporting personal growth. When individuality is respected, relationships become a source of strength and inspiration rather than a constraint. This approach not only deepens the bond between partners, but also ensures that both individuals continue to grow and flourish within the relationship. Maintaining a balance between giving and taking is one of the cornerstones of a healthy relationship. When one partner consistently gives too much while the other primarily takes, it creates an imbalance that can lead to resentment, exhaustion, and a sense of being undervalued. Relationships thrive when both partners actively contribute to the emotional, physical, and practical aspects of their union, creating an environment of mutual support and respect. Striking this balance requires self-awareness, communication, and a willingness to nurture both your needs and those of your partner. One of the most common pitfalls is overgiving, where one partner pours an excessive amount of time, energy, and resources into the relationship while neglecting their own well-being. This often stems from a deep desire to please, coupled with a fear of rejection or inadequacy. While generosity and selflessness are admirable traits, overgiving can lead to burnout and a loss of identity. For example, a person who consistently prioritizes their partner's needs over their own, whether it's always agreeing to their preferences, shouldering the majority of responsibilities, or suppressing personal goals, may eventually feel unappreciated or resentful. Over time, this dynamic can erode the foundation of the relationship. On the other hand, consistently taking without giving back can also damage a relationship. A partner who expects constant support, affection, or material benefits without reciprocating creates an imbalance that can make the other feel used or undervalued. This dynamic often arises when one partner becomes complacent, assuming that their partner's efforts are simply part of the relationship rather than a choice they actively make. For example, failing to acknowledge or appreciate the small gestures of care, such as cooking a meal, planning a date, or offering emotional support, can leave the giving partner feeling taken for granted. To avoid these extremes, it's important for both partners to cultivate self-awareness and regularly evaluate the balance of their contributions. This doesn't mean keeping score or expecting perfect equality in every moment, but rather fostering a sense of fairness and mutual effort. Relationships are dynamic, and there will naturally be times when one partner gives more than the other, such as during periods of illness, stress, or major life changes. However, over the long term, there should be a sense of reciprocity where both partners feel valued and supported. Effective communication is a key tool for maintaining this balance. Openly discussing expectations, needs, and boundaries helps ensure that both partners are on the same page. For instance, if one partner feels overwhelmed by the amount of household responsibilities they handle, expressing this in a constructive way allows the other to step in and share the load. Similarly, if one partner feels that their emotional needs are not being met, discussing this openly can prevent misunderstandings and foster greater connection. Avoiding assumptions and addressing concerns as they arise can prevent small imbalances from snowballing into larger issues. Another critical aspect of balancing giving and taking is practicing gratitude. Recognizing and appreciating your partner's efforts, no matter how small, reinforces a positive cycle of giving. For example, a simple thank you for a kind gesture or a heartfelt acknowledgement of your partner's contributions can go a long way in fostering mutual appreciation. When both partners feel that their efforts are noticed and valued, they are more likely to continue contributing to the relationship with enthusiasm. It's also important to establish healthy boundaries. Giving should always come from a place of willingness rather than obligation. For example, if one partner constantly sacrifices their own needs or desires to avoid conflict or keep the peace, it can lead to feelings of frustration and resentment. Setting boundaries doesn't mean being selfish. Rather, it's about ensuring that your own well-being is prioritized alongside your partner's. This might involve saying no to certain requests, carving out time for personal interests, or advocating for your own emotional needs. Balance in giving and taking also extends to emotional support. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel comfortable leaning on each other during difficult times. If one partner always takes on the role of the caregiver while the other rarely reciprocates, it can create an unhealthy dynamic. For instance, if one partner consistently shares their struggles while offering little support in return, the other may feel emotionally drained. Cultivating a relationship where both partners can share and support each other equally fosters a deeper emotional connection. Lastly, personal growth and self-care play a vital role in achieving balance. A healthy relationship is composed of two individuals who are able to stand on their own while supporting each other. Taking care of your physical, emotional, and mental well-being not only benefits you, but also strengthens the relationship. When you prioritize self-care, you're better equipped to give to your partner without feeling depleted. Similarly, encouraging your partner to pursue their own growth ensures that both of you remain fulfilled and capable of contributing equally to the relationship. In conclusion, achieving a balance between giving and taking requires effort, communication, and mutual respect. It's about creating a dynamic where both partners feel valued and supported, while maintaining their individuality. When giving and taking are balanced, the relationship becomes a source of strength and joy rather than a burden. By cultivating gratitude, setting boundaries, and prioritizing mutual effort, partners can build a foundation of fairness and reciprocity that sustains their connection over time. Effective communication is the backbone of any successful relationship. Without clear, honest, and open communication, misunderstandings, resentment, and conflict can quickly build. While it may seem simple, communicating effectively requires intentional effort, patience, and the willingness to be vulnerable. It's not just about talking, but also about listening, understanding, and responding in a way that strengthens the bond between partners. Many relationship challenges stem not from a lack of love, but from a failure to communicate needs, expectations, and feelings clearly. One common mistake in communication is assuming that your partner knows what you're thinking or feeling. This can lead to unmet expectations and frustration when those unspoken needs aren't addressed. For example, a woman might feel upset that her partner didn't notice she was having a bad day, but if she doesn't express this, the partner may remain unaware. Expecting someone to read your mind creates unnecessary tension. Instead, openly expressing your feelings and needs allows your partner to understand and respond. A simple statement like, "I'm feeling overwhelmed today. Could we spend some quiet time together?" can prevent misunderstandings and foster connection. Active listening is another vital component of effective communication, yet it's often overlooked. Many people listen with the intent to reply rather than to understand, which can lead to superficial or unproductive conversations. Active listening involves giving your full attention, avoiding interruptions, and seeking to understand your partner's perspective. For example, if your partner shares a concern, instead of immediately offering solutions or dismissing their feelings, you could say, "I hear you're feeling stressed about work. Do you want to talk more about it?" This approach not only shows empathy, but also encourages open dialogue. Nonverbal communication is equally important in relationships. Body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions can convey as much, if not more, than words. A warm smile, a comforting touch, or maintaining eye contact while your partner speaks demonstrates care and attentiveness. Conversely, crossing your arms, looking away, or using a harsh tone can unintentionally send negative signals. Being mindful of your nonverbal cues ensures that your actions align with your intentions. Miscommunication often arises during conflicts as emotions can cloud judgment and make it difficult to express thoughts clearly. In such moments, it's crucial to approach the conversation with a calm and constructive mindset. For instance, instead of using accusatory language like, "You never listen to me," Reframe your statement to focus on your feelings. I feel unheard when we talk about this topic. This shift in language reduces defensiveness and opens the door for a more productive discussion. Timing is another critical factor in communication. Addressing sensitive topics when one or both partners are stressed, tired, or distracted can lead to unproductive or heated exchanges. Choosing the right moment, when both partners are calm and focused, can make a significant difference. For example, rather than bringing up a major issue during a busy workday, waiting for a quiet evening can lead to a more meaningful conversation. Regular check-ins are an excellent way to maintain open communication in a relationship. Life's demands can sometimes cause partners to drift apart or assume everything is fine without actually discussing it. Setting aside time to ask questions like, "How are you feeling about our relationship?" or "Is there anything you think we could improve on together?" creates a safe space for honest dialogue. These check-ins show that you care about your partner's perspective and are willing to work together to strengthen the relationship. Another aspect of effective communication is being honest about your emotions while respecting your partner's. Suppressing feelings to avoid conflict can lead to bottled up resentment, which often emerges in unhealthy ways later. On the other hand, expressing your emotions respectfully ensures that your partner understands your perspective without feeling attacked. For example, instead of saying, "You always make me feel unimportant," you could say, "I felt hurt when I didn't get a response to my text earlier today. Can we talk about it?" It's also important to recognize and respect differences in communication styles. Some people are naturally more expressive, while others may take time to open up or prefer to process their thoughts internally. Understanding your partner's communication style and adjusting your approach accordingly can prevent frustration. For instance, if your partner needs time to think before discussing an issue, giving them that space rather than demanding immediate answers fosters a healthier dynamic. Forgiveness and patience are essential in communication. Mistakes will happen, and words may sometimes come out wrong. Being willing to forgive missteps and patiently work through misunderstandings helps build trust and resilience in the relationship. Instead of holding on to grudges, addressing issues directly and moving forward together strengthens the bond between partners. Lastly, humor and positivity can be powerful tools in communication. Lighthearted moments and shared laughter help ease tension and remind partners of the joy they bring to each other's lives. Even in challenging conversations, approaching the discussion with kindness and a willingness to find solutions together can transform potential conflicts into opportunities for growth. The end result is moving closer together to the opportunities for growth. In conclusion, effective communication is a continuous process that requires attention, effort, and a commitment to understanding and supporting each other. By expressing yourself clearly, listening actively, and approaching conversations with empathy and respect, you can build a foundation of trust and intimacy. Strong communication not only resolves conflicts, but also deepens the connection between partners, creating a relationship that is resilient, supportive, and fulfilling. Fostering trust and emotional intimacy in a relationship is essential for its long-term success and fulfillment. Trust forms the bedrock of any meaningful connection, while emotional intimacy nurtures a sense of closeness and vulnerability that allows partners to feel safe, loved, and understood. Without these elements, a relationship can become shallow, unstable, or riddled with doubt. Building and maintaining trust and intimacy requires consistent effort, open communication, and a genuine willingness to connect on a deeper level. Trust begins with honesty and transparency. Being truthful about your feelings, intentions, and actions creates a sense of reliability and predictability in a relationship. When a partner feels confident that you are genuine and straightforward, they are more likely to let down their guard and reciprocate with openness. For example, If you make a mistake or face a challenge, owning up to it rather than hiding it builds credibility. Acknowledging vulnerabilities, such as admitting when you're wrong or sharing fears and insecurities, also fosters trust by demonstrating authenticity. However, trust isn't established overnight. It is built gradually through consistent actions over time. Small gestures, such as keeping promises, being punctual, or showing up during difficult times, contribute to a foundation of trustworthiness. For instance, if you promise to support your partner during a stressful period and follow through, it reinforces the belief that you are dependable. On the other hand, breaking commitments, even in minor ways, can erode trust and require extra effort to rebuild. Emotional intimacy, which goes hand in hand with trust, involves creating a space where both partners feel safe to express their thoughts, feelings, and desires without fear of judgment or rejection. This level of closeness requires vulnerability, which can be challenging but deeply rewarding. Sharing personal stories, fears, or dreams allows partners to connect on a deeper level and fosters a sense of mutual understanding. Standing from this landscape is the ingenious movement, which cultivates the belief that reality is more important than fantasy. For example, talking about past experiences that shaped your values or opening up about what truly makes you happy can bring partners closer. One of the key ways to nurture emotional intimacy is through active listening. This means fully focusing on your partner when they speak, validating their feelings, and responding thoughtfully. Active listening involves more than just hearing words. It requires empathy and a genuine effort to understand their perspective. For instance, if your partner shares a stressful situation at work, rather than offering quick solutions, you might say, "That sounds really challenging. How are you feeling about it?" This approach shows that you care about their emotions and are invested in their well-being. Mutual respect is also critical for trust and emotional intimacy. Respecting your partner's boundaries, opinions, and individuality creates an environment where they feel valued and understood. For example, if your partner expresses a need for alone time to recharge, honoring that request without taking it personally demonstrates respect. Similarly, avoiding dismissive or condescending remarks during disagreements helps maintain a sense of equality and partnership. Consistency is another important aspect of fostering trust. Erratic behavior or mixed signals can create doubt and insecurity in a relationship. Being reliable in your words and actions reassures your partner that they can count on you. For example, if you express affection or commit to spending quality time together, following through consistently strengthens trust. Consistency also applies to how you handle conflicts. Responding with patience and a willingness to resolve issues, rather than escalating them, shows emotional stability and maturity. Physical affection is another way to build emotional intimacy, as it communicates love and care in a nonverbal way. Simple gestures like holding hands, hugging, or a gentle touch on the shoulder can strengthen the bond between partners. These moments of connection remind both individuals of their closeness and shared affection. However, it's important to ensure that physical affection aligns with each partner's comfort level and preferences, as everyone expresses and receives love differently. Thankfully, many times these responses and receives love differently. Forgiveness plays a vital role in maintaining trust and intimacy. Mistakes are inevitable in any relationship, but how partners address them determines the outcome. Holding grudges or constantly bringing up past mistakes can create a barrier to intimacy and trust. Instead, practicing forgiveness and focusing on moving forward together demonstrates a commitment to growth and healing. For example, if your partner apologizes sincerely for a misunderstanding, accepting their apology and working to rebuild trust shows emotional resilience. Quality time is another essential component. Spending meaningful time together strengthens the bond and allows for deeper connections. Whether it's engaging in shared hobbies, having heartfelt conversations, or simply enjoying each other's company in silence, these moments foster a sense of togetherness. Making time for regular check-ins or date nights ensures that the relationship remains a priority amid life's demands. Lastly, patience is crucial when building trust and intimacy. These elements cannot be rushed or forced. They require time, effort, and mutual willingness. Understanding that both partners may have different paces or comfort levels with vulnerability allows the relationship to grow organically. For instance, if one partner has difficulty opening up due to past experiences, showing patience and offering reassurance can create a safe environment for them to trust and connect. In summary, fostering trust and emotional intimacy is a continuous journey that involves honesty, respect, consistency, and vulnerability. By prioritizing open communication, active listening, and quality time, partners can create a relationship that feels secure and deeply fulfilling. Trust and intimacy not only strengthen the bond, but also provide a foundation for navigating challenges and celebrating joys together, making the relationship a source of comfort, growth, and love.